This is just the third time since seeding began that the Final Four won't feature a #1 seed. And while most people are thinking basketball and baseball, it was SIU football kicking off spring practice this morning at Saluki Stadium. That and more is next in sports.
Sports.
It's not even April yet, but hey, it's never too early to start talking about football. The SIU football team held its first spring practice bright and early this morning at 6:30. It was the first spring practice for the Dogs this year. The team expects to be practicing in pads by Friday. Fifth-year senior Mike McElroy will be back with the team after being granted an extra year of eligibility because of an injury last year. Also, the Dogs welcomed in several transfers, including quarterback A.J. Hill, former SIU star Nick Hill's younger brother. But head coach Dale Lennon says he'll need to earn his keep.
Paul McIntosh is our #1 quarterback, and Corey Faulkner is #2, and AJ's #3, and that's just because that's kind of how the order exists with when they've been here and the time that they put in. But as far as the way that may be at the end of spring ball, it's really anybody's guess.
The SIU women's golf team fought through bad weather and treacherous winds to win the 2011 Saluki Invite. The team shot a .639, which bested Bradley by 2 shots, and Western Illinois and Austin Peay by 3 shots. Ashley and Cassie Rushing tied for 4th, shooting a .158, while teammates Shannon Renegarb and Elisa Matthews carded a .162. The women are off until April 9th when they participate in EKU Colonial Women's Classic. The baseball Salukis try to get their season on track, and a good place to start is at Murray State tomorrow when the Dogs visit the Racers. After breaking their 9-game losing streak against Eastern Illinois last week, the Dogs split 2 games at home against Dallas Baptist before getting rained out on Saturday. And because of that rain out, the Dogs are now have 3 straight off days before heading into tomorrow's matchup with the 9-13 Racers. The SIU women's softball series against Creighton is not being rescheduled. The doubleheader was scheduled for yesterday, but canceled due to unplayable field conditions. SIU will return home to face St. Louis on Wednesday in a doubleheader at 3 o'clock. And on Thursday, head coach Kerry Blaylock will join Nicholas Gresham and myself live in studio for this month's Saluki Sports View. So the Final Four is now set, and according to ESPN.com, of the nearly 6 million people who filled out brackets on the site, only 2 correctly predicted the Final Four. The big stunner was Virginia Commonwealth knocking off top seed Kansas 71-61. 11th seed Rams outscored the Jayhawks 41-27 in the first half. The Jayhawks tried to come back in the second half, but the Rams hit 48% of their three-pointers, including 4 from Jamie Skeen, who had a game-high 26 points. VCU is just the 2nd team ever to make it to the Final Four of the Colonial Athletic Conference. And Butler, the Bulldogs will play VCU for a chance to go to their 2nd straight NCAA championship game. Last Saturday, the Bulldogs took down Florida in overtime 74-71. Butler came into the tournament as the 8th seed. On the other side, 4th seed Kentucky will play 3rd seed UConn. Both games are on Saturday. The Chicago Bulls look to remain hot tonight when they welcome the Philadelphia 76ers to the United Center. The Bulls have won 9 of their last 10 games and are looking for their 15th straight home win. The 76ers have lost 6 of their last 10, but they're currently in 6th in the East, 3 wins away from clinching a playoff berth. Both teams own a win over one another. Tip-off from the United Center is at 7 o'clock. The Blackhawks begin their most critical stretch of the season tonight when they take on the Detroit Red Wings. The Hawks face 3 division foes in the next week that could determine if they make the playoffs. Chicago will begin the stretch in 8th place in the Western Conference, a point up on Calgary and 2 up on Dallas. They've won 3 straight in Detroit. The rivals drop the puck tonight at 6:30.
Now, basketball for the MVC is pretty much over, except for Creighton. But there's a lot of coaching changes already in the Missouri Valley Conference. Is that right?
That is. Missouri State's Quanzo Martin, he's pretty successful at Missouri State. I think it was a 61-41 record over 3 seasons. He's been named the Tennessee head coach. And for Bradley, they've actually taken Kent State's Geno Ford. He was the 2-time Mid-American Conference Coach of the Year. So Bradley's bringing on a pretty good coach.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you very much, David.